Our journey takes us to the heart of these haunted halls, the gymnasium, a place of sweat, tears, and triumph. But also a place where darkness can easily take hold, where shadows dance in the flickering lights, where every creak of the bleachers could be a ghostly footstep. We'll hear from students who have encountered the unexplainable. Their stories are raw, chilling, and undeniably real. So brace yourself as we enter the realm of high school horror. Weeks after the accident, strange things started happening in the gym. Janitors would arrive in the morning to find basketballs scattered across the court. The scoreboard would mysteriously turn on, displaying Jake's old jersey number. Then came the sightings. Students began reporting seeing a shadowy figure lurking in the corners of the gym, always out of focus, always just a glimpse, but enough to send a shiver down their spines. One student, a sophomore named Mark, had a particularly unsettling experience. He often stayed late after practice, working on his shot long after everyone else had gone home. One night he noticed something strange. He swore he could hear the faint sound of a basketball bouncing, even though he was the only one in the gym. One night, Mark and his friends were hanging out, talking about the rumors. "Let's go to the gym," one of them suggested. "Prove these rumors wrong." Mark hesitated. He didn't like the idea of going back to the gym at night, but he also didn't want to appear scared in front of his friends. So, with a mix of trepidation and bravado, he agreed. As they approached the gym, the streetlights flickered ominously. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows. They cautiously entered the gym, their eyes adjusting to the dim light. Then they saw it. In the far corner of the gym, a shadowy figure stood motionless. Mark's breath caught in his throat. Our next tale takes us to a different kind of haunting, one that doesn't stem from a tragic accident, but from a life lived with passion and purpose. This is the story of Mr. Thompson, the legendary basketball coach of Elmwood High. A man who lived and breathed the sport, who pushed his players to be their best. He was a tough but fair coach, a mentor, a friend. Then one night, during the final seconds of a nail-biting championship game, it happened. Mr. Thompson clutched his chest, his face contorted in pain. He collapsed to the floor, the roar of the crowd fading to a stunned silence. His death shook the Elmwood community to its core, but in the silence whispers began to surface. At first it was just small things. The squeak of sneakers on the court even though no one was there. The thud of a basketball bouncing rhythmically in the dead of night. The distant sound of a whistle echoing through the empty gym. Janitors reported seeing the lights flicker on and off. They'd find the bleachers extended, ready for a game that wasn't on the schedule. And always that faint scent of pine sol and sweat. Then came the sightings. A shadowy figure pacing the sidelines during late-night practices. A hand reaching out from the shadows to adjust the scoreboard. A face glimpsed in the reflection of the trophy case. A face that was unmistakably Mr. Thompson's. The rumors spread like wildfire through the school. One group of students, a mix of skeptics and thrill-seekers, decided to investigate. They snuck into the gym late one night, armed with flashlights, cameras, and a healthy dose of teenage bravado. They wanted proof. The gym was eerily silent, the only light filtering in from the moon high above. The air was thick with anticipation and a hint of fear. They split up, each taking a different section of the gym. Silence. Then, a noise. The unmistakable squeak of sneakers on the hardwood floor. They froze, their hearts pounding in their chests. They shone their flashlights in the direction of the sound, but there was nothing there. Just the empty court and the shadows that danced in the flickering light. A figure standing at the far end of the court, tall, imposing, a basketball spinning effortlessly on his finger. The figure turned, and for a split second, the moonlight illuminated his face. It was Mr. Thompson. But there was something different about him. His eyes glowed with an eerie light, and a faint smile played on his lips. The students watched, in stunned silence, as the figure dribbled the ball. He took a shot, the ball sailing through the air and swishing through the net without a sound. Then, as quickly as he had appeared, he was gone. The basketball clattered to the floor, the only evidence of their encounter. Our third story takes us to a place where vulnerability and fear collide, the locker room. A place of shared secrets, nervous laughter, and the lingering scent of chlorine. But in the echoing silence of Elmwood High, the girls' locker room held a secret far more sinister. It held the memory of Lisa. Lisa was a force of nature, a star swimmer, her sights set on Olympic glory. Her locker, adorned with ribbons and medals, stood as a testament to her dedication. Then, one ordinary afternoon, the unthinkable happened. Lisa, practicing alone after school, was found at the bottom of the pool. A tragic accident, they said. Emily, a shy freshman on the swim team, felt the shift most acutely. She had always admired Lisa, her locker just a few down from the one that now stood empty. Emily couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. One evening, after a particularly grueling practice, I found myself alone in the locker room. The air was thick with humidity, the only sound the drip, drip, drip of water from a leaky shower head. As she reached for her towel, she noticed something strange, ripples disturbing the otherwise still surface of the water in the drain at her feet. She told her friends about the ripples, the unsettling feeling that something was wrong. They brushed it off as nerves, the stress of being new to the team. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly, terribly wrong. Days turned into weeks, and the unsettling events continued. Locker doors slamming shut with no explanation. The ghostly echo of laughter, chilling in its emptiness. One night, after a late-night team meeting, Emily and two of her friends found themselves back in the locker room. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting long, eerie shadows across the room. "Hello?" one of the girls called out, her voice trembling. Only silence answered her. Then, they saw it. Standing in the open doorway, a figure shrouded in shadow. But its eyes, oh God, its eyes, they shone with an eerie, otherworldly luminescence. The figure took a step forward, and the girls could make out the faint outline of a young woman. Her hair, long and dark, dripped with an unnatural luminescence. Our final tale takes us from sorrow to a place where hope and despair intertwine, where cheers past mingle with pom-poms present. This is the story of Jessica, the ghostly cheerleader of Elmwood High, whose spirit echoes through the gymnasium. Jessica was the embodiment of school spirit, her energy infectious, her dedication unwavering. She poured her heart into every cheer, every stunt. But during a routine practice, a risky pyramid formation went horribly wrong. Jessica lost her balance. The fall was swift, the impact sickening. Jessica was gone, her light extinguished far too soon. Megan, a shy sophomore new to the cheer squad, felt Jessica's absence keenly. She had always admired Jessica from afar, her own timid cheers dwarfed by Jessica's boundless enthusiasm. She practiced the routines meticulously, her movements hesitant, her cheers lacking the power and precision she desperately craved. The silence of the empty gym seemed to amplify her every misstep, every fumble of her pom-poms, and that's when she heard it. A faint sound, barely audible above the thump-thump-thump of her own heartbeat. She whirled around, her eyes scanning the shadowy bleachers, the darkened corners of the gymnasium. Just the echo of her own fear, bouncing back at her from the empty seats. Shaking off the unsettling sensation, Megan returned to her practice, her movements a little sharper, her cheers a little louder, as if fueled by an unseen energy. The clapping continued, growing in intensity, urging her to push harder, to reach higher. And then, She heard it. A voice, soft as a whisper, yet clear as a bell, echoing through the silent gymnasium. "You got this, Megan, you can do it." Her heart pounding in her chest, Megan stopped mid-routine. She recognized the voice. It was Jessica's. But that was impossible, wasn't it? Taking a deep breath, Megan forced herself to finish the routine, her movements sharper, her jumps higher, her cheers infused with a newfound confidence. The clapping grew louder, the whispers of encouragement more insistent, as if Jessica's spirit was cheering her on from beyond the veil. As she finished the final pose, a wave of dizziness washed over her. The gymnasium seemed to spin, the air shimmering with an unseen energy, and then, just as quickly, it was gone. Word of Megan's experience spread through the cheer squad like wildfire. Some dismissed it as a grief-stricken hallucination, but others saw it as something more, a testament to my unwavering spirit. The next practice, the squad gathered, a mix of apprehension and anticipation. As they practiced, the air grew charged with unseen energy. The temperature fluctuated, sending shivers down their spines. And then, it happened. A faint clapping sound, growing louder, filled the gymnasium. The cheerleaders exchanged nervous glances. Then, they fell into perfect synchronization. Their movements were sharper, their timing impeccable. It was as if Jessica's spirit was guiding them. From that day, the Elmwood Eagles performed with newfound precision and power. Jessica's legacy lived on in every performance. She had become a legend, a ghostly guardian angel watching over her team. As the final cheer fades and the gymnasium lights dim, a lingering chill remains in the air. Tales whispered in hushed tones throughout the halls of Elmwood High offer a glimpse into the shadowy corners of high school lore. They remind us that even in familiar settings, echoes of the past can linger, weaving into the present. The gymnasium, a place of youthful energy, reveals itself to be fertile ground for such tales. Perhaps it's the echoing emptiness that invites the imagination to wander into the unknown. Or maybe it's the legacy of those who graced the court, their presence lingering long after. High school gymnasiums hold a unique power to amplify both joys and sorrows. Sometimes those echoes of emotion take on a life of their own. Are these tales merely the product of overactive imaginations, fueled by teenage angst and late-night dares? Or do they hint at something more, something that defies rational explanation? The answer lies in our willingness to believe. High school hallways buzz with tales of the unexplained. Belief transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. In high school, where emotions run high, belief can create its own reality. These tales remind us the world is full of mystery. So, the next time you find yourself walking down a darkened high school hallway or taking a seat in a silent gymnasium, take a moment to listen. Listen for the echoes of laughter and the whispers of sorrow. Listen for the squeak of phantom sneakers on the hardwood floor, the rustle of unseen pom-poms in the air. You never know what stories these hallowed halls might whisper in your ear, if you're brave enough to listen. But be warned, once you open yourself to the possibility of the unexplained, the world will never seem quite the same again. Stay eerie, and we'll see you in the next video.